What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a Q&A video. I've been wanting to film this for quite some time. I just never sat down to do it. I never asked you guys questions to ask me, but we're doing it finally. One of the most asked questions was how I got into spirituality, how I got into tarot. We'll be diving into that, and then I have some other questions written down here as well, which hopefully Chris will help me and pop them up on the screen over here. If you don't know, Chris is my editor who helps with all of my vlogs. Shout out to Chris. Love you, Chris. Thank you for all of your help and hard work here on the channel. I ask questions on Instagram and I ask questions here on YouTube, so if you are not following me on Instagram and you want to be a part of the next Q&A, whenever that might be, to ask me questions, head over to my Instagram at Chandler Mastin. Information will be in the description box if you need it. Before we start though, let me just introduce myself. I should probably do that. Hi, my name is Chandler Mastin. I go by Chan. I am 26 years old and I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm a spiritual healer, reader, makeup artist, fashion lover, music lover, human being with a lot of interests and a lot of talents. I like to think those are the basics if you haven't seen me before, or if you just want to know a little bit more about me. So the first question that I'm going to answer is the most asked one, the most common one that I received, and it was, how did I get into spirituality? How did I get into tarot? How did I know that I have gifts? So let me just walk you back. This is going to be like a story time Q&A. It actually started before I was born. So my mom was pregnant with me while she was working in a maximum security prison. And I can tell you that I definitely picked up on a lot of that energy from people who were inmates in a prison. And my mom being a prison guard / corrections officer, there was this feeling of there's this energy that I'm getting of protecting the woman who was pregnant. I was protected by these inmates, but I definitely picked up on a lot of energy from that before I was born. And then I was born, and my mom always said that she could smell mothballs on me, which was a sign of one of her grandparents, I do believe. And so I've just been always very connected since birth, but I didn't really know that I had a gift until maybe about 13. I had a friend pass away, and this was the first time that I had ever experienced death in my life. And we went to the viewing, and I wasn't sad or crying or anything like that before the viewing, but then seeing this person's body lifeless was very triggering. Viewings could be very intense for some people, or very closing for some people, very healing for some people, but I was 13 and this was the first time I had ever seen death. And yeah, it really hit me there. And then I felt like I was able to speak to that person while I was there. And then fast forward until I was about 17 when I graduated high school. A friend and I went to go visit the grave of the person who passed away when we were in 8th grade, when we were both 13 or 14. And she asked me if I could stay in the car. And I was like, sure, so that she could say her goodbyes and just talk to him one-on-one. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I sat in the car and just did my own little thing. But while I was in the car, I kept hearing messages, and I was like, is this the person who she's talking to? Is this our friend who passed away? And so I was like, this is weird, but I didn't really know what was going on. So I was like, I have to tell her the messages that I was getting. So she gets back into the car and she's like, okay, we can go now. And I was like, before we go though, I need to tell you something. I needed to tell you what I heard while you were sitting there talking to the grave, talking to this person who passed away. And I'm telling her all of these messages that I heard, and she's like, oh my God, that's exactly what we were talking about. That's exactly what I asked about. There's no way I possibly could have known or heard. All the windows were up, the doors were closed. I let her have her own little private moment. You know what I'm saying? That's when it first really oh wow, maybe I have a gift. Maybe I'm able to connect deeper to spirits. But I didn't really understand it, right? I was still 17. And then I had a big spiritual awakening when I was 21. I ended up taking a solo road trip and trying to find myself at 21, as most of us do when we're in our early 20s. It's a very explorative time where we're really trying to figure out who we are. So if you're early 20s and you're struggling to find out who you are, don't worry, babe. You have your whole life ahead of you. We're all trying to figure it out as we go. It just becomes easier and clearer the older that you do get, and the more that you listen to yourself and face your fears and learn the lessons, the easier it gets. But I came back from that solo road trip, and tarot found me. I started seeing tarot readings, and then Spirit made me get my first tarot deck, and it's been kind of this ever since. Not to this extent. I definitely started tarot on my own and had to teach myself tarot, and I just watched a bunch of tarot creators who were pretty good with the cards and who know what they were talking about, and they would do their readings, and throughout the reading I would be like, oh, that's what that card means, or that's what that card means. And then I would do journaling for myself, and every day I would pull cards for myself and be like, okay, this is what I got today, let's see how it impacts my day, or let's see what I'm picking up on from this. And it took me about, I want to say 3 years before I fully really learned all of the cards. Even to this day, I've been reading tarot cards for lifetimes, but in this lifetime I've been reading tarot cards for 5, almost 6 years now. And there are still days where I'm like, what does that card mean? Like, that's just normal. I feel like as tarot readers, we're always learning, or as people, we're always learning. Like, there's always more to know. There's always more to learn in our specific job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got into spirituality and tarot. There's a lot more to the story, but that just feels like a good base answer. So let's move on to the next question from _lock. How did you learn tarot? So like I said, I taught myself, but one of the main things that I did was like pull cards for myself and then look up what the meaning was, or intuitively just write down what I was thinking the meaning of it was, and then I would just journal about it. The more journaling, writing down, taking notes, the better it was for me. I've always learned like that. In school, I learned by like taking notes, studying them, and then implementing them. So that was basically how I learned tarot. I would just pull the cards, look at them, figure out what they meant to me, or go online, look them up, what they meant, write them down, and then just practice. A lot of practice reading the cards for yourself, and a lot of practice. There's 78 cards, so there's so many possibilities and so many messages that can come out of 78 cards. So biggest message when it comes to learning tarot is to take it easy on yourself and to not expect to learn them within a year. I would give yourself about a year to learn them. If you don't learn the tarot within a year, then you probably aren't going to learn the tarot because you don't really want to. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a while, but it's something that's like a skill that you can practice, if that makes sense. I got into tarot for myself, and then Spirit asked me to deliver tarot messages to other people. I never got into this to make money, and I didn't get into this to specifically help other people. I got into this to help myself because I was going through a lot of darkness, a lot of sadness, and a lot of like spiritual ascension, and just trying to figure out what was going on with me. But I knew that I wanted to get better, and the tarot helped me with my mind, and it helped me help myself. And that was a big thing for me. I wanted to be able to get better, and I wanted to be able to help myself. So that's that on the tarot. I'm going to try to go back and forth between some of the questions that are like more lighthearted and less about spirituality or tarot, but a lot of the questions were about spirituality or tarot, which makes sense. Amy Marie 19 asked, how many states have you lived in and what is your favorite state so far? So I had to like write them all down because I have lived in a bunch of states. Not as many as I thought though. I have only lived in 7 states. I've visited almost all 50 states, or I have been to almost all 50 states, but I've only lived in 7. And my favorite one is currently the one that I'm living in right now, California. There's just something about California whenever I like go travel or whenever I leave, I'm like, I want to go back. I do like it here a lot, but I don't think it's like my forever staying place. But I do think California gets me for at least 1 more year. I'm not sure if it's going to be Los Angeles or if I'm going to try San Diego or maybe somewhere else in California, but California does get me for another year. I feel that. You didn't ask, but California and 7 states. Okay, next question comes in from Princess. There's multiple questions here, so I'm just going to read all of them and then answer all of them as well. The first one is, how many spiritual awakenings have you had? Have you worked with any deities? Do you practice witchcraft / are you a witch? This is what I wanted to answer. So firstly, how many spiritual awakenings have I had? I want to say 5. And counting. A huge one around 21, and then there's been like little ones in between each year. It kind of feels like a yearly awakening, so 5. Have you worked with any deities? Yes. I work with Aphrodite for love, for beauty, for luxury, good smells, good food, things like that. Aphrodite is a deity that I work with. Also Lord Ganesha, which is a deity to help remove obstacles. And then Archangel Michael is a deity that I've worked with before, that I work with on a regular basis. Whenever I'm needing to really like overcome something or heal through something, I call upon Archangel Michael. And then Kali Ma. Kali Ma is one of the first guides that I started tapping into when I got into my spiritual awakening, because Kali Ma was like a mother figure. Kali Ma has always been like a mother figure in my life. Very protective and gives me a lot of messages. And then Santissima Muerte is also a deity that I have worked with. Santissima Muerte actually helped me stop smoking cigarettes. Yeah, nobody asked, but I used to be addicted to nicotine. I had a nicotine addiction. I vaped a lot, smoked cigarettes. Yeah, I quit. on my own. I quit cold turkey and I went through all the withdrawal symptoms, and I dealt with that. It was hard, and I did most of that journey on my own, but I did that. And Santísima Muerte was here to help me. Santísima Muerte was here to guide me. So yeah, those are some of the deities that I worked with, that I have worked with, that I continue to work with on a daily basis. Jesus is another ascended master who I've been working with a lot lately, especially 2022. And I'm very open to just whatever deities, spirit guides, ascended masters, angels come through. I don't ever have like a specific guide, though. Hopefully that answered the question. And then lastly, do you practice witchcraft? Are you a witch? Well, I read tarot, and I just told you about the deities that I connect with. So I'm going to say yes, I practice witchcraft. But I practice like the offerings, the tarot, the prayer, the intentions, the manifestations, the rituals. I do full moon and new moon rituals, and everything I do is for the good of all, with harm to none. So yeah, but maybe not in the same way that people think of witches. Witch was just a word that people use to call something bad. I don't know how to like talk about this because I'm not like 100% versed on it. It's not like my topic to speak on, but basically it's like, oh, we want to call something bad, let's call them a witch. Oh, we want to get rid of this person, we want to remove this person from us, from our life, from the society, let's call them a witch. So I don't really call myself that. I don't really call myself any sort of a label. Like, I don't really call myself tarot reader, I don't call myself psychic, I don't call myself a medium, I don't call myself a witch. I just am. I just exist. I'm just me, doing what feels right to me, wherever I feel spiritually led. That's something about my spirituality and my spiritual practice, is that I take a bunch of different things from different spiritual practices or different religions that do resonate with me and do really call to me, and I kind of just like create my own and put it all into what works for me. And that's what I think is so beautiful about spirituality, is that there's no like set rule of how you have to do anything, and you get to kind of like pick and choose and mix and match the things that you do resonate with, because not everyone's going to be into witchcraft, not everyone's going to be into tarot, but I am into tarot, and I'm into herbology, and I'm into like manifestation and full moon and new moon rituals. Like, I love that stuff, but not everyone's going to be into that. Some people are more into like reading a book, reading the Bible, praying, which I do that too. I do the prayer as well, but there's just a lot to spirituality, and there's a lot that you can do in spirituality, and there's a lot of spirituality and spiritual practices that you can implement into your own. There's no right or wrong way to practice spirituality, and there's no right or wrong way to go about how you believe in yourself and how you believe in a higher power. That's all unique and individual to you, right? Okay, next question comes in from Jiu, G-J-I-U. There's also two questions with this one, so I'll answer both. The first one is, how do you open your third eye in a safe way? And then the second question, why social media? So this is a good question. How do you open your third eye in a safe way? Well, first of all, your third eye is going to just open when it's ready. Your third eye is inevitably going to open. It's most likely already open. It's just clogged, or there's just some kind of blockage for most people. But the safest way to open up your third eye, in my opinion, is meditation. There are third eye chakra meditations here on YouTube, or you can do third eye meditations on your own, but I do recommend meditation. That'll help you to connect with your third eye and help you connect with a higher power, and it can help you to see a white light, a gold light, whatever light you see when you go into meditation, and purify the third eye, cleanse those blockages. So I do recommend meditation and Reiki as safe forms of how to open up your third eye. I also recommend filtered water. Drinking lots of water will help you to connect deeper to spirituality and connect deeper to yourself, because we are majority water. Most of our body is made up of water. The earth is like 80% or more or less, but around 80% water. So water, but filtered water, or water with a high pH. Those are all safe ways to open up your third eye. And then the other question is, why social media? I love social media, but I really think that I'm here to be like the balance for social media, because social media is something that I really love doing. I love creating content. I love posting on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Like, I just love doing that. But I also think that I am doing social media to like balance out the not so good, because this question did ask why social media And then there was more to it about how social media can be toxic, and it's hard to try to fit spirituality into that. And that's correct. Like, that's a really, really accurate opinion. Social media can be very toxic. Social media can reward flex culture and reward people who are already rich and already doing well and who are already successful. Social media can really like pad those people's egos and bring them to the forefront. But we as people have the power to change that, and I feel like that is changing. So I feel like I'm a part of the change. I'm a part of the revolution. I'm here to like balance out the not so good creators, the not so good vibes, if that makes sense. I do social media because I love social media. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing it. I love posting. I love interacting with you all. I love scrolling. I love seeing everything. I love being a part of something. There's this feeling of social media is like you get to be a part of something even when you feel like you aren't a part of something. And I also do social media because I'm alone most of the time, which is fine. I've learned how to live on my own. I've learned how to be alone and really love being alone. I was just telling my mom that on the phone the other day. I was like, wow, I actually am really happy to be alone. Like, I'm really good with being alone. I kind of like that right now, which scares me a little bit because I'm like, what if I just become so introverted and so alone that I'm just like fine with it? Then what? But it'll be fine. I like being alone, and social media gives me a way to be social and to have friends and to make connections, because I'm not really doing that. I'm very introverted and I like to be at home. I like to be working. I like to be doing my own thing. I like to chill. Somebody asked me, what is my version of paradise? What is my idea of paradise? Warm weather, somewhere tropical probably, or like palm trees. I'm thinking like Hawaii. Even California could be paradise though at sometimes. Florida. I only know like the United States, right? You guys probably know some other places in the world. Warm weather, chilling, tanning, relaxing. I like to chill. I like to be at home. Paradise for me is just getting to relax, to chill, to not have any worries. Yeah. That's really it. Okay, next one comes to us from NT. I'm holding the microphone like this today so that you guys can hear me, and it's kind of making me feel like I need to have like a show, like a radio show or a talk show or a podcast where I like hold the radio. And today we're back with NT asking, can you please give some insight on angel numbers? I got you, NT. Thank you for sending this question in. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for buzzing in, NT. Can I get a round of applause? Can we get a drum roll? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, NT, for asking this question. Could you please give some insight on angel numbers? So first thing about angel numbers is that it's how the universe is communicating with you. It's how your angels are choosing to communicate with you. They're going to figure out what works best for you. Your guides, your angels, your ancestors, God, whatever you believe in, is going to figure out what is the best way to communicate with you. For some of you, it's numbers. You like numbers. You like numerology. You like math. For some of you. So they can send you repeating numbers because you'll pay attention to it, because you'll see it. This is how they communicate with you. Angel numbers are a language of the universe. The thing about angel numbers is that they're going to mean different things to all of us. I always recommend that you Google an angel number if you're seeing it repeatedly over and over again to figure out what it means for yourself. Don't trust the first thing that you read on the internet. That's a general rule of thumb. Don't always just go with the first thing you see on the internet. Do a little bit of research, but you can Google these angel numbers and get the answer for yourself, something that resonates with you, right? Technically, every number is an angel number, but when we talk about angel numbers, most often people are talking about repeating numbers, such as 111, 222, 333, 1111, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to break down what they mean to me individually, just as like a quick little base covering of 111 through 1111, and that's going to be how I give you some insight on these angel numbers. So 111 always to me talks about new beginnings. 111 is here to show you that there are new beginnings coming up for you, new starts, fresh starts, new things, new people, new experiences, new. Essentially, when you're seeing 111, a door is opening. Okay, simple. 222 means do not worry. Twos are all about cooperation and partnership. So you could be seeing 222 when love is on the horizon, or when someone is trying to let you know that they love you, an angel, an ancestor, a person on this earth. But 222 to me always means do not worry. So Spirit sends me that one a lot whenever I'm stressed out about things that I don't need to be stressed out about. 333 is an angel number talking about mind, body, and soul. Whenever you're seeing this number, you're in alignment You're in alignment to mind, body, and soul. It's also a number connected to like the Holy Trinity, the Holy Ghost. So 333 is a very spiritual number. You should feel some kind of presence around you, or just know that you're in alignment to whatever it is that you're manifesting, or to your spiritual path at that time. Spirit wants you to take notice of that the angels are around you, that the guides are present, and that you are in alignment whenever 333 is coming through. 444 talks about security, stability, home, comfort. So whenever you're seeing that number, know that things are okay. Know that you're protected. Know that you will remain protected. 444 is a really good number whenever you need that reassurance and whenever you need a feeling of safety and security. 555 represents change, positive change. In my experience, most of the time 555 comes through as a number indicating rapid change, but it's always in a positive direction because things need to change, things need to evolve, things need to grow. So 555 is always about change, and it's usually pretty quick change as well. 666 is an angel number and not associated with the devil, although some people have thought that for years. 666 usually is a warning message, and it usually means that you need to slow down, that something is happening too fast or something is moving too quickly. It's usually a warning message just to kind of like be cautious, to slow down, to read the signs, read the room, read the fine print. You know what I mean? 666 can also represent a blessing coming into your life. This warning could be a blessing, or this tower moment could be a blessing. It could be a blessing in disguise, but oftentimes 666 shows up when there's a blessing coming into your life, or when you need to slow down, take a little bit more caution. 777 is a really popular one as well. 777 usually represents good luck, good fortune, good vibes. It's like the turnaround. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. Every time I see 777, I think about the Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, okay, this is good. Things are getting good. Things are good. Things are getting better, right? So it's a good luck. It's a little streak of good luck, a little moment of good luck, whatever. But 777 to me has always been about luck. It's very lucky. 888 represents karma and abundance. And every time I see 888, to me it represents what goes around comes around, what comes up must come down. It also represents abundance, so look out for some money coming into your hands. There's potential to make more money whenever you're seeing 888, or there's an abundance of something coming into your life, an abundance of appreciation, an abundance of love, an abundance of money, an abundance of ideas. It's you receiving karma, whether that be good or bad at the time, depending on what was done, right? 999 usually shows up to let you know that you're about to complete a cycle, or you're about to complete something. It's time to start wrapping something up, or something is wrapping up for you. So you won't have to deal with this much longer, or you won't have to deal with something much longer whenever you're seeing 999. You're right there, about to break through. 1010 means that something is done, something is complete, something is over, something you no longer have to deal with, worry about, look for, etc. 1010 represents completion. And then 1111, the Make-A-Wish number. It usually represents divine alignment. It's a wish coming true. It's a wish being granted. It means you're in alignment with your manifestations from 333. But 1111 is like a divine wish is being granted. You're in alignment. It's a little kiss from the angels is what I like to think of it as. And it always comes through when it's like synchronicity. It's a synchronicity from the universe that something is lining up, that something is working out, that something is okay. 1111 is really one of those like chill numbers for me. Whenever I see 1111, I'm like, oh my god, because it's so natural and it's so like synchronistic. Like I wasn't looking for it, it just happens, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, divine timing is 1111. So those are just some of the numbers that are very common, and that's my little take on them, what they've always meant to me. My personal morning routine, when I'm like firing on all cylinders, when I'm really killing the game, I'm still trying to readjust from the holidays. Give me a break. I know I'm not the only one. My favorite morning routine is to wake up around 6 or 7 a.m., get ready, meditate for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, whatever I feel called to that day, or whatever you feel called to. Just some kind of stillness, some kind of like calm, peaceful music, possibly a guided meditation with somebody speaking to you. but just a time for you to connect with your higher self and for you to clear your mind and set positive intentions for the day. Prayer as well. And then I like to go take a shower. And then after I get out of the shower, I will eat some kind of breakfast usually, or go for a walk. It depends on what I feel called to, but also walking is kind of working for me sometimes because I do vlogs here on the channel as well. And part of the vlog is like me channeling messages out in nature, or just me going for walks and showing you landscape, showing you the world, talking about what's going on with me, so on and so forth. There's skincare in there too. Sometimes I do makeup and sometimes I don't. It just depends, but definitely starting the morning right with yourself and starting the morning away from the phone. I don't really like to pick up my phone first thing in the morning. If I do, I end up spending too much time on it, and I feel kind of shitty when I get up. I don't feel so good when I get up in the morning after using my phone. So I try not to use my phone as much first thing in the morning. If I do use my phone, it's to find like a really chill meditation, or to find some like soft music with wind and birds and things like that. But other than that, I try not to use my phone first thing in the morning. In terms of nighttime routine, I guess we will answer it, but I don't have anything specific in terms of like a nighttime routine. I need to get better about my nighttime routine when I'm firing on all cylinders, when everything is like going. I'm trying to go to bed around like 10 or 11 p.m., sometimes earlier, just because I get tired throughout the day. Anywhere from 9 to 11 p.m. is usually when I like to go to sleep. I'll do not another meditation, I'm sorry. I will do skincare, take off my makeup if I'm wearing any, crawl into bed and just kind of like chill until I go to sleep. I try not to use the screen after 10 or 11 p.m. But again, sometimes I do. Like currently right now we're watching TV, watching movies until like midnight or 1 a.m. because I'm just like trying to readjust from vacation and the holidays. Like I said, give me a break. But that's just a short little answer. I hope that I answered the question in terms of like morning routine and nighttime routine. But that's what I have for today's video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Thank you for being here on this channel. I love you so much. Please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out the description box to find my other platforms so that you can send in questions for the next Q&A video. That's it for me. I will catch you on the next one.